How's it going, YouTube? Today I have an iPhone 12 Pro. It's experiencing basically two different issues, which more than likely is all related to one, which is the rear camera stopped working, and then the flash stopped working. They're two completely different components. If you're watching this ahead of time, it's not a bad idea to just buy the Flex that does that. If I have a video, I'll link it in the description, and then you can watch that as well. But more than likely, you won't. For whatever reason, the rear camera fails and often causes a chain reaction of the flash to stop working. So if I'd bet money, if I was a betting person, I would bet money that I'm going to replace the camera and then the flash will start working. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you all the tools that are necessary. And then I'm also going to especially show you how to remove the screen without breaking it, as this is a perfectly good example of a phone that's difficult to get into, and then B, just a scenario that you don't want to have to buy a screen at the end of this. So pretty much we have three things to get into the phone. I mean, specifically removing the screen without breaking it. These gaskets are significantly stronger. So the normal Reassembling that I use to get it into basically every phone previous to the 12s, unless it's broken, so this isn't, I'm trying to not break the screen, specifically the OLED is more than likely what you would break if you were, if you use too much force. But I'm sort of rambling on. But normally I would use an Reassembling. This to me is not good enough. So I use, it's a tool called a Magic Glass. And then I use 99% isopropyl for rubbing alcohol, and then I use a little bit of heat. Essentially what you do is heat up the bottom of the phone. So we're good. And take our Magic Glass. Take some alcohol. And you want to, as you can see, it's not in there very far. I'll apply just a little bit more. I can already feel it lifting up. Apply a little bit on the corners, because this is the difficult part, is the corners. It's not the center. So as you can see, still haven't damaged the screen. So at this point, I have the screen gently lifted up. Apply some just on the corner. And then really, it's just, like I said, that's the difficult part right there. OLED is still good. Touchscreen is still good. At this point, then I can come in with my Reassembling. Gently lift up. So I like this technique, which is rather than the cutting motion, like I said, the gasket's kind of strong. Last thing you want to do is slip and cut something, so I just twist. It has roughly the same effect. So I've got most of that up. there. You do want to be careful. Your flex cable is right here. The last thing you want to do is to tear that. At this point, we can put this away. That was really just to get the two bottom corners. And then at this point, I'm just going to be wiggling the screen back and forth. So my thumb is going to be pointed that way. And then you can aid it if need be. There are, I think, 2. Yeah, so there are 2 little brackets, 1 and 2. As we can see, my screen works, OLED works. Now before we go disconnecting everything, and I guess you could technically get away with without removing the screen. Which is what I'm going to do. But what I am going to do is I'm going to disconnect my battery. The last thing you want is, normally I use my fingernail, but I'm trying to get this on camera. So there's that. Now for the rear camera. Once again, you can use your fingernail. Just like that. And this comes out pretty easy. So here's my new camera. Come back. Once again, make sure your battery is disconnected. Also, I did all of this in the span of just a second or so. But every once in a while, you'll get like dust on the inside of your lens. So just make sure that those are free and clear. On the wider flex, I like to press on one corner or one side and then the other. As if you just press in the center, sometimes they have a tendency to bow in the middle. Connect to my battery. I like to test the functionality of the phone before or specifically the functionality of the part that I'm replacing before I throw all my plates in. Because what if it doesn't work? I need to take it apart again. So here we go. I'm going to test the camera. So obviously it was completely black before. All of them didn't work, and there was also this weird haze on it. He showed me a picture, which I guess was the progression, but that works. Front camera works. And what else? Does my flash work? And my flash works. What did I say? So now I'm just going to put obviously everything back in. You don't really need me for that. But what I will mention is before you close the phone, a couple of things you want to make that you want to check. Sometimes screws, if you drop them in the process, they have a tendency of getting caught or they'll get stuck, especially the magnetic ones, the ones that they'll get stuck on the loudspeaker or the Taptic engine, or other times they'll get stuck to the gasket. So like I said, no one wants to buy a really expensive screen, so just check and make sure that you don't have any screws. So when you're seating your screen, you always start at the top. Doesn't matter what corner, right or left. Once you can see that it sits flush, then it's just a simple matter of, once again, make sure you don't have any loose screws. Crunch and crunch. So if your screen is sitting up for whatever reason along any part, please avoid just pressing down. Gently open the phone again, make sure that everything is back in place. Like I said, if it's along the side, it's probably a screw. If it's down here, it's probably a screw. If it's up here, it's probably your front camera is out of placement. So just make sure that it's positioned properly. And then obviously go and close the phone. So everything here is good. I can then proceed with my 2 final screws. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If this helped, leave a comment. Let me know how your repair went. If there's anything that I left out, also leave a comment. Let me know. I try to get to questions and comments in a timely fashion. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.